Régis, apologies to take you back to last weekend, but now you've had time for the dust to settle and reflections on the game at Port Vale. I think there was a lot of anger from fans afterwards. A lot of people had spent a lot of money going to Bournemouth and Leeds and to Port Vale, and I'm sure you'd have reflected on the game with the players. I mean, what's the autopsy, if you like, on what happened last weekend?
Yeah, disappointing, a bit embarrassing, to be fair. This week reflects our journey this season, I think. After 3 defeats in a row, the last one at home against Fulham, where we picked up 4 injuries in the same game. We earned good point at Bournemouth, a tough place, really intense. They were on a good run. Then we went to Leeds. Survival was the key word in this game, and Ellen Road is also a tough place, and we find a way to win once again, and it was a well-deserved 3 points. And after that, consistency is key, and against Port Vale, obviously the pitch leveled everything, so it was more about desire, fighting spirit, and we lacked clearly those foundations, and so it's sad because we missed a big opportunity to go further. We showed before at Everton and Oxford that we were able to do that, but we didn't repeat. So with the players, we were tough, but it is what it is. You have to take the lesson and go further.
Can you put your finger on why you had an amazing intensity at Leeds at Ellen Road, but then you couldn't find that at Port Vale?
Yeah, it was a different context. The third game of the week with a small group. 11 players really were available from the first team because Granit wasn't really available. We managed his load, and Wilson was ill. So you have to do with your strength, and I think it should have been enough, but it wasn't. So sometimes it's hard to explain because we showed it before in different contexts, but here it wasn't possible. So it is what it is.
Have the players have they put their hands up? Have they offered explanations as to what happened?
It's always hard to explain with only one reason, I think, because it's a complex situation, many variables in the equation, I think. But the main point was the desire, probably desire, because if you fight, it wasn't usual game. The pitch is big, that's true, but you have to find a way, probably individually, because pass. It was wasn't the best way to find a solution. So try with maybe being more bold, probably individually, to find a solution to score, but we didn't create a lot of chances, to be fair.
You obviously you have to move on. You've got Brighton at the weekend. Are you expecting, or you would expect, a reaction to last weekend?
I hope so. So last weekend, but also I think it's important to highlight last week. So it's more about consistency, because the week was great in the Premier League. Really disappointing in the FA Cup, that's true, but great in the Premier League. So this is our journey, and we're not happy after the week, but we still have strength, and the core of the group showed many great things so far. Now the competition is relentless. You know that if you are not in your best form, you will struggle, and even you will face really bad moments.
This weekend, you're hopeful of Broby, McKaylee, Zirkin being available again. Is that the case? Are they ready?
Injury-wise, Brian and Dennis trained fully this week, so they might be available. We'll see tomorrow because there's still one training session. Nordi, Robin, and Ray are in a good place, but won't be available for that fixture. Probably they will train next week. Ray 100%, but for Robin and Nordi, we'll see during the week. So it's more about Newcastle game, but they are progressing well.
And Bertrand Traore, have you had any progress? Have you looked at what the prognosis for him is?
Yes, we received many opinions, and so it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks minimum, and so we'll try a conservative treatment, and depending on the reaction, we'll see if we need to think about something else.
Okay, Brighton then this weekend. One of the youngest coaches in the Premier League, if not the youngest. You've had how many months in the Premier League now to experience just how tough it is? I mean, did you speak to Fabian at Brighton, or have you spoken to him since about how tough it is to manage in the Premier League?
Not really with him directly, but I understand now after 10 months how difficult this league is. And Brighton are a well-established team in the Premier League now, with a really clear identity, really good on the ball, a lot of mobility, the ability to score in different ways. Their counter-press is outstanding. So it's a modern style of play and really interesting, really efficient, even if it's not easy to be competitive in this league this season again. They are doing well in general. So we'll have to embrace the challenge once again and reset and show your desire, show the quality of the squad at home, especially after 2 defeats in a row. It's important to change the dynamic, and it's going to be an exciting challenge.
But like you, in the Premier League, a couple of good results lately. I mean, Arsenal's Arsenal last weekend, but if there's one thing in common perhaps with you, it's goal scoring. They do struggle to find the back of the net.
Yeah, this is the difficult part of the game to score, because the goal is small and the goalkeepers are good. The defenses are really well organized, so it's always hard to find a way to score. And sometimes it's just a question of dynamic. You struggle for a long period, and then you never know how, why, and the confidence can go back, and you score once again.
Régis, sorry to go back to Sunday again, but you know the players obviously better than anyone. You've helped build the squad here. Were you surprised, given how well you know the players? Were you surprised to see a performance like that?
Yes, because in that context we have to win. So it wasn't a good feeling. We try to find explanations and to challenge them in one way, and to support them, even if the responsibility when you play for Sunderland is high, and you have to own it. And it's not only once a week; it's 3 times a week. And sometimes in this learning curve, especially for a young squad like ours, it's hard to assume, but it is what it is. And it's not only the players. I would like to include myself and the coaching staff, the staff in general. We failed. And after this defeat, it's important to highlight the whole journey. It's not only this defeat. So ups and downs are part of the learning curve. I repeat, it's not a positive moment, but we have to take the most of it.
Yeah, you touched on that there. Are you hopeful that you've done enough as a unit this season, the players, the coaching staff? You've done enough with so many impressive wins multiple times. Have you done enough to sort of put that to were you allowed that one, if you like, because you've done so well?
I don't think so, because it's important to show the ambition, and the negative experiences are important in our pathway as well. So you can't just erase or delete the event. It's important to assume it. But in football, the competition is so relentless that you can't stay with this negative vibe for a long period. Otherwise, it will influence the next game, and it's not possible. So it's important to switch on now.
And just finally for me, how crucial is it for you now? You've got those 40 points on the board that you wanted. How crucial is it now? You're out the FA Cup, but this season just doesn't peter away. You make the most of what you've got left.
I think that we have to keep the same mindset. Every game is an opportunity to win 3 points against every team in this league. It's always tough. Is it against the top of the table, or Wolves who won, or Burnley who won recently? Everyone can beat everyone in this league, so it's always a new challenge, and we want to keep the same mindset because we did well. The target of 40 points is achieved, but we don't know if it will be enough, so we have to keep going. And for the dynamic of the club in general, you want to stay positive, you want to stay ambitious, and you can't just give up, even if it's tough.
Thank you.
Hi Régis, who's been the loudest voices this week? I mean, you allude to the fact it's been quite a difficult week after a difficult day on Sunday. Who has spoken up? What have the conversations been like?
I think it was quiet, to be fair, because the lads understood that it was a big defeat, and the fans, people around the team showed that they were not happy, and they understood that feeling really quickly. It's not just about ourselves; it's about the vibes around the event. So they were in that mindset at the beginning, and I think the energy grew throughout the week. It was interesting. The first session, then the second session were good. Today was off fit to regain the energy, and tomorrow we'll be positive to prepare Brighton.
Just want to touch upon one player, Nzola Faye, 50 appearances up for Sunderland. I know he's a player that you've known pretty much throughout his career, haven't you? How personally satisfied are you to see how well he's done so far, not just in England, but in the Premier League?
Really pleased. Really pleased because after Lorient, he had good spells, but also difficult moments in Rennes, then in Roma. So when you reach 24, 25 years old, you never know if you'll stay a potential or you can become a great player. And I thought that he could be a great player. So coming from Roma last season in the championship was a strong decision from him. He showed great quality last season, got an injury in February as well, so it was a question for him, your physical consistency. And so this season, the Premier League, probably the hardest and demanding league in the world, if you can stay consistent as he was, it shows something. So I'm really pleased because of the ability to repeat, but to play in different positions as well. He's always smart, always well connected with the squad, always keen to do the tasks, even if it's the defensive tasks, he will do it on purpose. So he's a good teammate and a really good player.
Just away from the football side, so the club had announced that they're going to be planning this Legends Way at the Stadium of Lights and everything like that. What do you make of that? And also, how much would you want to see kind of members of this team, even yourself and your coaching staff being part of that?
It's a bit early, probably. I think, yes, it's important. In England, it's often the case. We like the players, the people who were really important for the club. It's important to celebrate and to keep the legacy for the identity of the club. So I'm really pleased with that. I think it's important to reinforce the identity, to reinforce the mentality of this club with its characteristics. So I think it's key, really interesting.
Just finally from me, we talked about kind of like what is expected of the players, what is expected of the staff. What can the fans expect as a response from the players on Saturday, do you think?
I don't know. We'll see. I think it's more about the identity once again. If you show desire, you show a strong teamwork, strong togetherness. It's the starting point for me. And after that, you can win, you can lose because the opponent is strong as well. And the scenario in football is still unpredictable. Sometimes you win, but you didn't deserve it. Sometimes you lose and you didn't deserve it. It is what it is. But at least show this basics, and I think the players will do that. Yeah.
Hi, Régis. In the Premier League, you've so far successfully used quite a pragmatic style, similarly to Arsenal. Last week, Fabian Hurstler was quite loudly critical of elements of Arsenal's play. When you hear that, do you think that kind of criticism is fair?
Hard to say. Hard to say, to be fair. Every club has his own identity, his own ambition, his own players, his own style of play. So I think you have to respect it. After that, it's important to focus on your style, your identity connected with your club, with your region, your fans. And after that, it's hard to complain about anything from the opponent. For me, it's not my style. So hard to say.
Do you think you can play into your kind of style of play to frustrate Brighton more at the weekend?
Yeah, it's always evolutive because a journey is a journey. You can't start from the first season in the Premier League and you won't have everything in your luggage. You have to build progressively, and it starts often with the defensive side because you want to protect your goal. Otherwise, if you start with 3-0 down or 2-0 down, a match is so difficult to win points, and then the style of play depends on the players you have, and because they bring those qualities on the pitch, and it's possible to be maybe a bit more pass orientated or a bit more spaces orientated, depending on players you have on the pitch.
And just finally for me then, it's been about 7 games since one of your wingers scored a goal. Is there a slight worry that you might become a bit more reliant on your strikers, or most recently the
Yeah, the winger position is a bit critical this season. We got many injuries, and they are young as well. So I think the maturity in these positions is important because it's a 1v1 position. So you always face a strong defender, experience, often quick, fast, with the ability to be competitive in 1v1s. So it's hard to repeat. We have wingers able to play 1, 2, 3 good games, but consistency is a different topic. So we want to improve this position progressively, and maturity is key, and they will learn for sure. So the responsibility is a bit higher for the strikers, maybe, or for the midfielders, or on set pieces. But it is what it is, and we have to accept it.
Hi, Régis, just a quick one for me. Obviously, it was Sunday and 2 defeats in a row at St. Lines. I feel like it needs a particularly big performance this weekend in terms of sort of getting something back to the fans after Sunday.
Yeah, I would like. I think after Fulham, the reaction was key, and we did it. So we'll have an opportunity at home to react once again. Then we'll have a strong derby 1 week later. So those 2 games are really exciting, and we want to take the challenge like that.